Hey everybody, Bobby Sorden here. I am now with App My Community. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer. Very excited to be with them now. Joe and Rose, who are the owners of the company, brought me on this year to help grow the business. So this is the very first, I'm trying to have fun with these words, called About app bout your app. So that's hard to say, but still it's a lot of fun to say, so we'll try it anyways. But this is about your app, and here I got Mike Harrison, who with the CRR Hospitality, and then I got Aaron Forrest and Jenny Rodriguez. I'd like for them to introduce themselves. So let's start with you, Mike. What's your role with CRR, and who are you, and how'd you come about?
Great. Yeah, my name is Mike Harrison. I'm Chief Operating Officer of CRR, and I will try to apply some of the knowledge that will help,
Love it.
when it happens, it just
Go,
depends on,
go with it.
the situation. But yes, I've worked for CRR Hospitality for about 5 years now, and we own and manage upscale luxury RV and glamping resorts um, that we're very, passionate about. We all come from the hospitality world for the most part as well, hotel backgrounds, restaurant backgrounds, and outdoor hospitality. And we love the app, so I can't wait to talk more about it.
Great, that's good to hear. And Aaron, you want to go next?
I'm Erin Forrest. I am the Corporate Director of Sales and Marketing, and I've been with CRR just a few weeks shy of Mike's tenure. Yeah, we've been using the app for, I think, about 3 years.
Great.
I have to double check that one. Yeah, we've been using it across the entire portfolio.
Great. And then Jenny, your role, what do you do?
I'm Jenny Rodriguez. I'm the activities coordinator here at Coachella Lakes. Going on 2 years almost now. Love the app for sure.
Great, great. It's good to hear. I mean, that's what I'm loving here right now. I mean, I've only been on with Joe and Rose now for 3 weeks, and I've already built two apps for some upcoming conferences. We built it for Louisiana and for Carolina, and plus we got a few more coming up. So I really like it because it's so simple to use. And Jenny and Aaron, I'm sure you can attest to that as well. That when it comes to adding stuff, it's very simple. So the reason why I'm having you guys on here is primarily because I want to see how it all starts from the very top with Mike, and then how it maneuvers down to Aaron, where you're over all the other parks, and then Jenny, how you're one of the parks. So this is the first time I've actually done this, so people bear with me as I'm going to actually try to share my phone. Hopefully it doesn't lag too much, but if it does, we'll just kind of roll with it. So I'm going to bring up your app before we start moving forward, and then Mike will start with you about how you made the decision, how you met Joe and Rose, and just how it came about to make this part of your big portfolio. So if you want to start talking about that, I will try to get this
Certainly.
shared here. And
And first, I'd like to introduce Mrs. Pickles. Oh, she just jumped
oh yeah,
off again.
sure.
She's
Yeah,
she's
background there.
a well-known visitor to many of my conference calls.
Yes.
She's our crazy tuxedo cat, and she's just playing around. That's why my chair is going all
It's
crazy.
kind of
She's messing.
scary too because you got that blur or that virtual
Yeah,
background, so she kind
yeah.
of pops in every once in a while. So
She's messing with the camera, so my apologies.
no worries.
Um,
That's a great thing about
but
working from home is usually I have my dog down here, and Jenny could attest. Like
oh,
right when we're going to start recording, he
yeah,
barked. I'm like, all right, nope, you're out. So
yeah. No, I got two of them right there, and about 10 minutes ago, Amazon was at the door, and you would
yep,
have heard them for sure.
that's what I call. I call him my
Um,
security alarm. Anytime it starts
that's
barking,
right.
oh, the security system's going off. So. So
But
great. So
from
I got the app up here. Hopefully you guys can see it on your screen as well. So we are seeing my phone with your CRR hospitality app. This is how
yeah,
it opens when you first download the CRR app from the App Store, whether it be Google or Apple Store. It's live in there. It's your own custom app. So you can see it has their logo at the top, and then it has their parks labeled below it. So Mike, we'll start with you. How did this get started
yeah.
with getting the app, and when you talked to Joe, and how did it get going?
Absolutely. From an app of property standpoint, there's many applications that I could go all day. I'm just making
I
these
know,
up on the
right? This is
spot.
great.
But obviously, I'd been going to a lot of the different shows, and had run into Joe numerous times and started to ask him about it, and we had started to grow our portfolio, and so we were one of the early adopters of the app, and saw the value. Especially, our properties are very both transient and long-term driven. They have a good mix, but you know, what we really liked about it was the functionality and the flexibility. And I think as Joe and Rose have evolved the app, we've evolved with them, right? So there's more and more different features that you can use. And a lot of people don't even know that you can use this as a communication tool for your associates or load the schedule.
Yeah.
So our associates, our internal team loves it as well. But we thought, we wanted something to, match our deliverable with our, reputation. Something that was a bit more evolved than just a piece of paper or posting it on Facebook.
Yep.
That we could, make sure that our guests had access to our various events or information, or as you can see, as report an issue, right? If they have something, has the light out or whatever it might be. We do, Canine Corner Pup of the Month. We do a lot of different things. And so when we were looking for one that we could use, this seemed custom made for kind of the outdoor hospitality world. So after speaking with Joe and speaking with a couple of the properties that use it, we decided to go forward with App My Community. It's been
Great.
very helpful for us. We also ended up using it for looking at for our manufactured home neighborhood as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what's really cool is I just opened up the Coachella Lakes RV Resort. So Jenny, you're the app admin for this one.
Yes.
So as you notice, there's pictures that are just sliding across the top there. I'm assuming
Mhm.
Jenny, you probably put those up there, or somebody else on your team did.
A few of them,
Yeah.
yeah.
And what's really cool is you guys are really advertising and marketing the stuff specifically for your park. For others out there who want to use the app, you could actually use that space up there for advertising local attractions or local restaurants, where they could actually pay you guys alone. We never, at My Community, never collects any of that sort of advertisement money, but just another way for you guys to generate revenue to help pay for your app and, of course, pay for other items around the park. But that's a great way to put some ad space up there as well. So I don't know if you guys do that on any of your other resorts, but that's what that could be utilized for too. It's so funny. I saw one of the pup of the months there called Odin, Odin. That's the
Oh,
actual
yeah.
name of my street address. And it's so cool. I've seen it spelled like that before anywhere else. So,
Wow.
so Aaron, from your perspective, as you guys saw when I first opened the app, I had the whole list of all your parks there. It looks like we have 4 on right now. Is that right, Mike? And then
Yes.
I
Correct.
think we're bringing on a 5th one. Is that still the case?
Fifth and a sixth within
Oh,
the next
perfect.
few months.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about the 6th one yet, so I didn't want to bring it up, but I'm glad you did. So, yeah, so we got 2 more coming on, which is great. So we're excited for that. And the key thing that Joe and Rose really focus on with this app is keeping it very consistent. So every time you open it up, it can have its own branding, its own colors, its own logo, of course, but the app buttons are pretty much consistent. We can even take it a different direction where the first few buttons are standard across all the parks. That way, if you had, like, say, 3 buttons you want to make sure that everybody at every single resort saw, we can keep those and make those standardized where Ginny wouldn't be able to remove them or move them around or anything. So, Aaron, do you want to speak a little bit from that level, from the higher level of covering all the resorts out there?
Yeah, so I am the one on the back end setting it all up. And then I work with Jenny and her um, uh, the other activity coordinators and operation managers at the property, and then they set up kind of their end of things. But it's also great because yes, we have the headers in there that we can have consistent through all of the properties along with the property images. I've also used the footers as advertisements as well. And it's nice to make it, cohesive, and you go from one property to another and they all look the same.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's exactly what the way we want to keep it. So you'll see here that I just pulled up the map of Coachella, which is really helpful. It even has, I don't know if you guys use this feature or not, the searchable map feature, where if people show up, like say they show up to the resort and they're coming after hours for check-in, whenever they pull up to the office or the check-in, the front desk, wherever it is, they can actually type in their site number and it'll actually draw a map directly to that site, which is really a cool feature. Plus, it'll also have that in your email confirmation that you send to them. You can have the link or the QR code directly to their site. So I don't know if you guys, I think you said you do use that. Is that right, Aaron?
So we do have the map feature set up. We don't have it in the email just because sometimes the site numbers change
Yeah.
if they haven't locked it in.
Sure, that's a good point. Yeah. So by the time they get there, they're already ready. They have their site number. Then when they get there, they can just tap or just do a search for their site number, and it draws a line directly to it, which is really cool. I was talking to somebody where they had a fifth wheel and they had a boat they were pulling behind their fifth wheel. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen that before, but it's like 2 trailers in one, and they got to make sure they don't get to a spot where they have to back up, and otherwise they have to drop the boat off. move the boat out of the way, and then go and move. So it's
Yeah.
good to have a direct line saying go this way, don't go any other way, or otherwise you're gonna get stuck back there somewhere. So. Well, cool. So, Jenny, let's go to you now. You're the activities person for Coachella, the one we're actually looking at right now. So,
Correct.
what all does that entail when we're talking about activities and stuff?
So I just use it, like you said, for activities. I like how I can add push notifications. It allows
Do
guests to
you have an example
know.
of what that means? Like when you say push notifications. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there,
No,
but
you're fine.
what examples have you used for push notifications?
For example, like weather, if there's like rain and I have to cancel an activity,
Okay.
I'll use the push notifications to let people know that the event has been canceled. Same thing, reminders. So 15 minutes before the activity, if they have that, like the start, it gives them a notification 15 minutes before the event. Let me see, location changes. If I need to change the location, I send out a push notification letting people know that the location has changed. Yeah.
That's great. So on your end, and I know what the back end looks like. Aaron knows what the back end looks like. So on the back end, it's simply you can do this from like your laptop, your desktop. You can even do it from the mobile Safari or Chrome on your phone if
Yeah.
you wanted to, where you simply just sign in and it has send
Hmm.
notification, right? And then you can say,
Yes.
hey, due to rain, we're canceling the
Hmm.
Pup Cup
Drive-in movie.
social.
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Hmm.
and that's pretty much what we like it for. Have you ever had to use it for? I know you said weather earlier. Have you used it for emergency situations before?
I have actually, yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I had to
Share some
cancel
stories with us.
a dive-in movie due to rain and wind. Yeah.
A
Have
lot
you
of
ever had to
lot of
do like
different applications.
Yeah.
there you go. One thing I think is really cool. I'll bring up one of our resorts. They have a really cool way of doing their. I don't know if it's yours or not. I can't remember. Joe always spits out names. I can't even remember half the resorts that we have on our app right now. But for their new employees, for them to get familiar with the resort that they're working at, they do a scavenger hunt through the app.
Yeah, that's
Yep, that's
ours.
us.
Is that yours? Okay, I thought it was, but of course I didn't want to throw it out there. If you guys be like, "Well, you don't know about that." So, no, that's good to hear because I think it's a great way for people to use the app, get familiar, and then also get familiar with your resort and know what all the guests are seeing out there. So,
Yeah, as my kid said earlier, like you can have your group of all of your associates, and then you can have a hidden part of the app. And we use that to put their schedules on there, do communication with them, do those scavenger hunts. And it's such an easy way to be able to communicate with the associates
yeah,
rather than post a schedule or email it out or
yeah.
so.
That's awesome. I love how you guys are doing that, and really, I didn't even really think about that too, about how you can do their schedule and everything on there as well. And so, like you mentioned, for everybody else that understands out there, you can actually create groups of people and place those people into those groups, and then only certain groups will be able to get to certain parts of the app. For example, I know you guys probably use this as well. The app will actually create QR codes for everything. So if you created a QR code for the men's bathroom at the playground on the south side, you want to make sure that QR code's in that bathroom. So if it ever needed some attention to the bathroom, or say the toilet paper's
And
out,
we have that.
it's clogged. You guys use that too. Yeah, I think Joe was telling me that. So you just scan that QR code when you're in the bathroom, and rather than having to type in where you are, because if you have 3 bathrooms at 3 different playgrounds, it automatically pulls the one up that you're in, and you just say needs toilet paper, needs attention, or write a comment or something. It's a great feature because then you can have just that message go just to the maintenance person rather than to everybody at the park or everybody at the resort. So another great little feature tool that I've heard a lot of people utilize.
And it's great on the guests' end as well because it's so simple for them to use. It's not that they have to look up the phone number and call the front desk, and it just makes it nice and easy. Everybody knows how to use a QR code now.
Yeah, thanks to COVID on that one. That really made it.
It's definitely applicable.
Loving it, Mike. Keep pushing them out. I'm going to be taking notes. Applicable application. I love it. What's really cool too is I think Rose came up with it. We're going to start doing like some sponsorship to shows called Appy Hour. So
Oh, that's cute.
have some fun with that. So,
Yeah, we have Yappy Hour at our properties for the
yeah,
dogs.
that's right. The Yappy Hour. I saw that on there. Yeah, that's really awesome. So yeah, as you can see here, I just clicked on the swimming pool right there in the amenities so people could actually see the swimming pool, see some pictures of it, which is a beautiful swimming pool. I definitely need to get down to your parks. I was actually, I think Mike knows, I was in Quartzsite this past week, but we didn't get a chance to meet up because I was only there overnight. So But yeah, definitely want to come check out some of your resorts there in Arizona. So
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's interesting because the appearance will look different for each property that we use. So we can modify and flex depending on the flavor, the feel of the different,
yeah.
resort that we're looking at.
Hmm.
So it's helpful for us to flex it. And it's always good to review it because I think, I could see Jenny's face as we're talking about some of these things about like scan the QR code in the building. She's like, what? Right. So we're using that obviously at one property, but maybe not at all. So, it's just a good reminder for us, to make sure that we're utilizing the features, almost a best practices call, if you will.
Yeah.
I had talked to Joe and Rose about that at one point of holding like a forum,
Hmm.
of all, a lot of your power users, if you will,
Yep.
so that, because some are doing something, it's just, and there's so many features on this that you don't even know
Yeah.
if you don't leverage or use it. And, once one person uses it, or, this activity manager, 3 activity managers ago was super great with it, and then it got dropped, and then, somebody didn't know about it and then picked it up. And so I think it's good to have, kind of a, power user forum. I know there's a Facebook page, but I don't think that's the same, kind of the same
No, it's more for like
application
questions
that
and
I would
answer
that
type
I would
things.
want.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea, and that's a lot of stuff we're putting in the works right now too. And Rose is getting really good with that. She's actually sending out some emails to a lot of the resorts saying, "Hey, we're gonna have some, meetings about the app. If you want to join us, let us know." It's just going to be like a talking forum. So exactly what you're talking about, Mike. She's starting to get those going right now too. So that's what's really great. And I brought it back to the home screen here because as everybody sees, all your resorts on here. The great thing about it too is if a customer or a guest, we'll call them, goes to a certain resort, say Verde Ranch, they can actually just favorite the Verde Ranch and then only get the notifications from Verde Ranch as opposed to all of them. Or if they want to favor some other ones, they can. That's what the little star is. And you can see right now my star is orange right there because I favored the Verde Ranch one. And these ones are white. So I'll get notifications from there. And it's all push notifications. So it's really cool. And the great thing about it too is once you download the app on internet, if you ever lose internet or if you're off hiking somewhere, the app still works because you have it all downloaded to your phone. Now you won't get like the push notifications or anything like that, but until you get internet again. But as soon as you do get that internet, it automatically pushes everything that you missed while you didn't have internet. So and I believe Rose even did a little story about that, where that time Facebook went down for a little bit. They're saying, hey, even when Facebook goes down, our app is still working for communication. So just things like that. So Jenny, as you mentioned, when the rain came in and you had to cancel something, we've heard other people use the app where a windstorm was coming in, and they said, hey, they sent out a push notification, a windstorm's coming in. Why don't you pull in all your awnings? And all of a sudden, you see all the people across the resort outside, if they have the manual ones, or all their awnings starting to roll in. So just little things like that. It's all just about, like you said, Mike, the communication. So. Is there any other stories or something that you heard about that was really good? We're already at like 17 minutes. We'll go to about 20 minutes. Is there any stories, Jenny or Aaron, that you can remember that the app was just like very beneficial that we haven't mentioned yet?
Well, with the report and issue feature, I do want to note that it's great. It works here amazing. It allows communication on our end, staff, as well as guests. We'll get the email to guest services. And from there, we'll able to let maintenance know about an issue, and then we'll call the guest directly and let them know that the situation has been handled, and thanking them for reporting the issue.
That's
So I think that's nice to know. Yeah.
mhm.
Jenny,
Hmm.
how often would you say that happens? How many issues? How many times guests are reporting issues in a week?
I would honestly say maybe like 5 times, maybe a week. We get emails to guest services, yeah, about the app, the issues, reporting an issue.
And I know, Bobby, this is a promotion call, so I don't mean to ask questions on it, but
No, no, no. This
is
is exactly what we want to
is
hear. I want people to be
is
able to
there a
report
feature where you can run the report an issue so that, from a administrative standpoint,
Hmm.
the front desk or the general manager can say, hey, yes, we did this one. Oh, we missed this light bulb, right, to make sure that we're following up on all those issues, or you just have to kind of happen to be in there.
Are you asking me or Jenny
Both.
or whoever? Yeah, so there is a way you can go in and look at all the app reporting from the back end. So anytime an issue was reported, you can go and pull up those analytics and see the whole list of the entire report of something that was been reported. You can export it too to like an Excel or CSV file. So you can go through and look at stuff, and it's a great way to look through it for the year too, and say, okay, it looks like we had a lot happening, a lot of light bulbs going out in this area. Do we have like a ground issue or electrical issue over there? So a good way to look at it that way too for your data
And so,
analytics.
Jenny, how do you use this Do you use this in concert with or a supplement to maintenance care? I take it the main request process is done.
I think we just use it as a supplement. I think our main point would probably still be the front desk, calling the front desk,
Hmm.
or they let Maria know directly, our housekeeping supervisor. But
Okay,
I
no,
think it is.
it's good feedback
Uh-huh.
because I think, Aaron, we should look at that, just as a group because I don't know that we're using it quite enough. So like in the pre-arrival emails, I think we could probably put something in like, please download your app if you ever need anything at all. We're, full
Yep.
service resort. Please use your app and, hit the request service button and, we'll answer, or something like that. And because I think it is while we use it obviously as a guest facing feature, I think that's probably an underutilized feature for guest deliverable is that
Hmm.
that function.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
I agree with you on that, Mike. And you know what, my goal this year is to really get our resorts to really, I hate using the word force, but more encouraging of all the guests using the app. I know some people still don't have smartphones, and some people are like, I don't want to download another app to my phone. But in your case, if they're staying there, I look at it as my wife and I are big cruisers. We love going on cruises all the time. So you can't even really get on the ship without an app anymore. You got to have the app because that's where everything goes through. I mean, all your emergency situations, everything. So it's just becoming more and more known. But of course, people are like, well, I'm camping or I'm trying to take a break from technology. It's like, well, we understand that, but you're still going to have your phone, and if you're going to have your phone, you might as well know what's going on around the resort. So one thing we need to get in some of your resorts, and I don't know if you have it yet, Mike, or not, is that kiosk that we have. I don't know if you saw the one that we've had at our booth.
yeah, I did, and I saw the most recent promotional with that too. I think
Yeah,
that's not a bad idea.
it's really cool.
Yeah, send me some pricing on that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just something from on Amazon. We're not. It's not like we're selling it ourselves. I
yeah.
just give you the link, you
It's
buy it, and then
Yeah,
we'll
I
watch
remember I had
the.
talked to Joe about that originally because we were looking at it potentially for our, you walked me through his whole how he set it up, and we were
So
looking at it for one of our booths as well because he was using our property obviously when he was demonstrating.
exactly, that would
Um,
be perfect for your guys' booth.
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just another tool at the resort area, if you will. And Jenny, going back to that report an issue button, how many
Mhm.
times are guests including pictures, or is it generally just a request?
I think majority of the time they don't include a picture. There has been times where they have included a picture, like if something's broken. That's the only time I remember a picture being included was
Right.
something being broken. But majority of the time, no, no picture.
And what would you say is the most common requested report an issue item?
Um, it's funny. I would say probably vacation rentals asking for more towels.
Well,
Uh,
it's interesting. One of the reasons I was asking because it was
yeah.
specifically around the glamping, right?
Hmm.
Because the glamping guest is a very different guest than the RV guest. RV guests they're pretty self-sufficient,
Hmm.
Yes.
right? But
Yeah.
the glamping guest, so I applaud your use of the report an issue button. But I think Aaron, there's absolutely an opportunity for us to grow this and become more of a guest-centric feature than it already is,
Mhm.
especially for the glamping
Yep.
options.
Hmm.
And the great
We
thing,
just got to
Mike,
push it.
is
I
we
don't
have.
think we
Oh,
have
sorry.
no marketing. I'm sorry, we have no marketing in the glamping units that say just like the
Hmm.
QR code, right? And we really should think about, if you need something, scan the QR code, right? And it brings it, because there's no phone in the cabins that you call the front desk.
Yeah.
I think it's just an easy, I think there's a download the app sign that I think there's a lot more application we could use there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the great thing
I
about the
like
QR
that.
codes too is if they don't have the app on their phone yet, as soon as they scan that QR code, it takes them to their app store to download the app.
Right,
So
that's my point. Is I think
Mhm.
there's scan the QR code, download the app, and it's super, blah blah blah.
yeah, completely understand. And
Yeah.
one of the things I was going to say too, Mike, is we have unlimited support too. So if you ever wanted to have Aaron and Jenny and the rest of the admin
Mhm.
app people on a call with, say, Rose will walk you through. Or if you guys have some thoughts, you're like, hey, we're thinking about trying to do this with the app. Like we were already having a conversation earlier, Mike, before we started recording about you guys doing your leadership conference. You could utilize your app for your leadership conference, and that could be something that only your leadership group would see through the app. So where I'm going with that is you can always send an email to Rose, hey Rose, we're trying to figure this out. Could we jump on a call with everybody on our team and see how we can make this work? And that's what we're doing because we are the people. It's not
Yeah.
like you have a whole team of support people you got to get through. So
How
yeah,
many
Yeah,
how
I
many
would say
job
that
titles
the
does Rose have?
what's that?
How many job functions does Rose have?
a lot of hats.
everything. And as you guys know, they have 6 kids, ages 12 to 5.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And she
I don't
has
know.
that other company too, right?
I don't know of another company. If she
I
does, I
thought
don't
she
know
did.
about it. I know she coaches basketball for the school, so she does that. Daughter's on. So,
Go ahead,
yeah, I
Aaron.
don't know what else she's doing out there, but yeah, the two of them just they amaze me. I mean, they have so much energy, and they have like 6 kids, and it's like Joe's messaging me on Slack at like 9 o'clock, which is 10 o'clock his time. I'm like, don't you ever sleep? Which I don't mind because I'm looking at my phone too. But yeah, they're just powerhouses, and that's why I really am glad I was able to come on with them. I was kind of hesitant about going to work for another company, but I really like them. So, Aaron, I think you were getting ready to say something. Is that right?
Well, I was just going to say that the support that Joe and Rose provide, anytime we have a new associate that's going to be using, the administrative side of the app, I always introduce them to Rose. Rose sets up a little introductory call. And then I think another underutilized feature is their help
Yep.
center that is on the administrative side when you're on your computer, because I went through multiple calls with Rose and she showed me all of the different features. But when I'm actually in there trying to do it, I know I can do it, but I can't remember how. And
Exactly.
all I have to do is just search right in there, and there pops up the instructions, a little video, and it's so helpful.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Me and Joe were in the Tampa show last week, walking around, and that little question mark button in the the admin console that you're talking about, has a chat feature, and that goes directly to Joe. So as we were walking around the Tampa show, he was responding to people's chats, saying, "Oh yeah, this is how you do it. This is how you do it," or sending the link to the video that you were just talking about. So that's what's cool. Cool is they started this company like 7.5 years ago with just this idea because they were visiting a park and they were missing some activities that were going on and they couldn't find it in the right location, and it turned out to be changed to another location. And this was 7.5 years ago, and Joe's a developer and Rose was in the hospitality industry, so they're like, let's see if we can create something. So now 7.5 years later, they got over 230 clients. 170 of those are RV resorts and campgrounds and parks. And now we're looking to help grow it some more and get it in the hands of more people like you. And I really do appreciate all of it. So, but yeah, so that's the whole goal with this. And again, you guys are the first ones we did this with, so I'm really glad it worked out. That's what I'm saying. It's like when you get to talking about all this good stuff, the time flies by. But that's a great thing. If people want to listen, they will. If not, they'll just fast forward past it. But is there anything else you guys want to add before we close out? I don't know if there's nothing else to add. We can wrap things up, but yeah, I'm really glad we were able to make this work.
I just applaud all of their efforts and yours.
Cool. Well, great. Well, yeah. So I'll be at the Louisiana show here next week, Mike, and I just found out actually today that you're going to be doing a virtual guest speaking for us. So that's awesome. We're pushing the app to the App Store right now, so hopefully that app gets approved through Apple's App Store for the Louisiana. So we got a lot of those apps going out for the conferences this year, so we can really utilize the app and get it in the hands of people to see how easy it is to use. But I'll get you more information though about that kiosk, and for everybody to know what I'm talking about, it's pretty much like a 32-inch touchscreen TV that's vertical, so it almost looks like an oversized phone, and you can place that at your front desk of your office somewhere, and people can actually push the buttons on the app like they're actually using it on their phone. And then you can put a QR code on the bottom of the screen so people can scan it to download the app onto their phone after they play around with the kiosk. So, and we'll have that at our booths at some upcoming shows. We're going to have it at the Carolina show, and we're actually giving it away as part of the auction item too. So,
Oh, great.
yeah. Well, great. Well, thank you guys again so much, Aaron, Mike, Jenny. I really appreciate you guys being your app, or apps, more than one. I look forward to bringing the other two on. So, thanks again for being on with me.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you.